what is the best way to handle a negative review when you don't have record that the person that left the review was ever a customer? That's a great question. So, obviously we like to push reviews are important, whether that's on Google, whether that's on Facebook, whether it's on Yelp or any other thing. Reviews are important. But what happens when the inevitable happens, which seems to happen to everybody, that you get a negative review and you don't even know who the person that left the review is? You don't have any record of that they had a bad interaction with you or whatever. You maybe suspect that it might be competition that left you a bad review or something of that nature, but you don't have any record that you ever did business with this person, yet they left you a 1-star review or whatever the case may be. So how do you handle that? A couple different things. Most of the platforms have the ability for you to produce or submit essentially some feedback to say, hey, we don't have any record that we ever did business with this person, to review the actual review. The company would review the review to see if it's legitimate and potentially take it down if they feel that it's not legitimate. Just know, though, that a lot of times that's not going to be successful. You may submit one of those requests and they may still leave the review up. So how do you handle it if you went through that process, yet they decided not to remove the review and you're left to deal with this 1-star review? The way I would deal with it is I would reply. You always typically have the ability to respond or reply to a review. I would reply to that by saying, hey, I'm really sorry that you had a negative experience, Don, or whatever the case the person's name is. I'm not sure what happened. We don't show any record that we've ever done business with you. I just want to verify that you actually had a negative interaction with us. And I would potentially even leave a direct number, say, please call me on my direct number. We'd love to resolve this with you. Now, if it's a competitor or somebody that's just looking to leave you a bad review, that may not do anything. They may not call you. You're not leaving that response. In some ways you are. There may be a mistake. And if somebody reaches out to you that gives you an opportunity to fix or clarify that. But in a lot of ways, you're not leaving that response for the person that left the negative review. You're leaving that response for everybody that comes after, that sees that negative review, reads it, and then reads how you responded to it. You showing a polite, interactive way of saying, hey, I apologize you've had a negative experience. However, we don't show any records that we've done business with you. Can you please help us understand if you maybe did the transaction with a different name or your wife or whatever the case may be, but showing a genuine interest in resolving the issue for the client, if the issue is legitimate, I think will speak volumes to the people that are reading that negative review later, that your company is, committed to trying to have good customer relations and taking care of problems. So again, don't think about that response as that you're responding to Don because maybe you think Don's a competitor or a competitor's wife or whatever that's just trying to screw you up. So you might have a little bit of an anger about that issue. But my point is, you're not leaving the response for Don per se, although you may be, but you're not leaving it for him. You're leaving it for everybody after the fact that's going to read your response and potentially taking that negative situation and turning it into a positive situation. That's how I would handle a negative review, especially one where I didn't have any record that we ever did business with that customer. So anyway, that's how I would do it. I don't think it's ever a good strategy to respond in a negative way or a reactive way to say, hey, we don't show that we ever did a business with you. You're just, I don't know what you're trying to do. Don't respond in a negative way or a lashing out way. Respond in a way that shows, hey, we're committed to trying to figure out what happened and how we can help resolve it. If it is indeed our issue, I think it's going to speak volumes about your company and your commitment to customer satisfaction as opposed to a knee-jerk reaction. Now, if you need to take a little bit of time before you respond, a day or two, so that you could craft that and not move on from a position of being upset about it, I would do that. But it's never, in my opinion, a good idea to respond negatively.